Week 2. Guess what? It's showtime, biznatch.
What'd you do to my abuelita?
Thought it was your Tio. No, not this time.
Not anymore?
Welcome to the Almost Sideshow, everybody. My name is Adam. That is Terry. That was my first take. And today we are going into Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Season 1, Episode 2. MIJO.
Better Call
which
Saul.
debuted February 9th, 2015. Play the soundbite
Better
another
Call
time,
Saul.
please. Who are you going to call? We're going to call Saul. Terry, how we been?
Been good. And it left it quite the cliffhanger in the first episode, so I was excited to see where this went and how much Tuco we got, and we got quite a bit, which was
tight.
Yeah. A lot of Tuco in this episode. I don't think we might not see a whole lot of Tuco probably for the who knows? We might not see a whole lot of the rest of the show, but I like what we're getting here. We get a little bit more of the Saul's like what's his wheeling and dealing. He can talk his way out of anything. I absolutely love it. Some really cool Bob Odenkirk stuff that's going on here. A lot of cool fun moments. There's a cool montages like these Vince Gilligan shows do really well. Really great montage here. Really excited to dive into this one. Again, this title is Season 1, Episode 2, MIJO, which is referencing to Tuco, of course, and it did debut. It's a two-parter. Apparently, I didn't realize this until I was diving into the dates here. Last episode was debuted February 8th, 2015. This one debuted February 9th, 2015. So, fine little tidbit. Yeah. So, if you're ready for this synopsis, let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Better Call Saul, Season 1, Episode 2 is entitled MIJO. Episode 1 left off with a brief glimpse of Tuco pointing a gun at our dear friend Jimmy. Episode 2 starts with us seeing what happened on Tuco's end.
Mm-hmm.
Tuco was making a nice meal for his abuelita when she gets home with a couple of skater punks saying she ran over them and are injured. They are trying to get their payout and insult the abuelita. What did you do to my abuelita? So Tuco puts the sweet old lady in front of the sweet honeys on a telenovela while he beats the crap out of skater punks with a walking cane. While Tuco cleans the blood off the floor, Jimmy knocks on the door. Yeah. Salsa. Need the club soda. Once inside, he assesses the situation and begs for his life and the life of his counterparts if they haven't been taken already. Hey, they're alive, and they're blaming the whole thing on Jimmy. Now Jimmy finds himself in the desert surrounded by Tuco and goons. And now Jimmy really has to beg for his life. He tries lying and saying he's an FBI agent, but eventually he just sticks to the truth. He's a lawyer trying to scam a couple that embezzled $1.5 million from the city. And the idiots jumped in front of the wrong car.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to a voice of reason, Tuco spares Jimmy's life. Oh, but the skater boys are going to die. Until Jimmy starts to use his powers of negotiation. Make the punishment fit the crime. Tuco takes some convincing to figure out what that means. We land on each getting a broken leg. Jimmy takes them to the hospital and pays for the bill. Now, he's broke. He's drunk. And he can't hear any snapping sound without thinking of the snapping of bone. He goes to his brother Chuck's house, but forgets all the protocols due to the intoxication. Chuck freaks out, throws Jimmy's phone outside with a pair of tongs. When Jimmy awakes, he's wrapped in a space blanket for protection, accusing his brother of backsliding into his slippin' Jimmy ways. Now, Jimmy just needs some money. So he works any case he can find to get a quick paycheck, despite running into the buzzkill of a parking lot attendant named Mike Ehrmantraut every time.
I saw not enough.
He goes back to his office, exhausted, until a customer visits him. It's Tuco's voice of reason. He wants to help Jimmy take the Kettleman's embezzled funds. Jimmy doesn't want to get involved, and a phone number is left behind for when, not if, he decides to change his mind.
Yeah, good little synopsis there. I want to give a quick little shout out to one of our YouTube comments up here for Better Call Saul season 1, episode 1 for Uno. Min255. He did point out we had questions about how do they mistake the car. He does say in his comment they hit a Ford Taurus, not a Mercury, big blue Ford oval front and back. Did not catch that when I saw it. So,
but back then, like the Fords and the Mercuries are basically the same car.
yeah,
They just had like it was like
different.
Is it a Dodge or a Plymouth? Well, they're the same car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the comment. So it's a very similar looking vehicle. So it's easy to make that kind of like mistake there. But if you were able to catch that in the episode, that's something that I definitely didn't catch. So that was cool. Thank you, Elmin255 there.
Yeah, that's a good comment.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, Tuco basically said, "We'll see you later, boy," because they were skater boys. We'll see you later, boy. That was my Avril Lavigne quote of the day. It didn't work well. Worked better in my head.
It wasn't good enough for
not Tuco. Yeah, Tuco was not a fan of the Avril. But anyway, this was a really cool episode to dig into Tuco's psyche, and you get to see a different part of him. What's funny is the first time we really see Tuco in this show is he's cooking a meal, kind of like a meal that they cooked for Jesse and Walt. They cooked some nice burritos. This time he cooked kind of a soupy dish, probably like a pozole or something like that, I would imagine. Really, that's kind of interesting there. I do like how he is very caring and nurturing to his elders, like they're kind of raised to be. So you hear this like really hardened, sadistic guy who he's tightly wound, but he's still so kind of nurturing and caring to the older generation. And it's very fascinating. And it's just funny is the little old lady. I can't remember her name, but she also has a Scarface connection, kind of like his T.O. So she was
really?
also in Scarface, yes.
Let's see here.
As well as
she died in 2017.
Interesting, but yeah, she was in
Mama Montana. So Mama Montana. So was she Tony's mom?
Yeah.
What? That's cool.
And then you got Hector Salamanca was also in that movie, and then also the head of the cartel, I believe, was also. There's like 3 different Scarface connections in there. I was reading on the wiki, which is kind of cool. I didn't pick up on that as well. But anyway, it's a really fascinating kind of dive into Tuco's mentality and how crazy these 2 crazy characters in Saul and Tuco were able to kind of interact and kind of switch the table several times. And even though Tuco's like superly psychotic, Saul was able to kind of like get kind of what he wanted and kind of manipulate him in a certain extent. And I think that was absolutely fascinating. I love the montage when he's doing all those jobs and all those different clients. Gotta love those kind of crappy jobs. But it's interesting to see that another interaction with Mike Ehrmantraut there and the final proposal at the end by a new character. I don't think he was not in Breaking Bad. So that's kind of interesting to see. We do see our good boys Gonzo and Nodos as well in there, which is cool. We don't see this new guy. So what was Nacho? I think that's what his name is.
Nacho, yeah.
We don't get to see him. So that's interesting development. So introducing this new character who quite possibly is the more cooler version of the 3 of them, of Tuco's little henchman. Obviously the guy that Tuco trusts too. So I thoroughly think this is like, it's picking up in some really interesting directions. I wasn't, they're going to go on together this, the Kettlemans, yeah. So pretty cool episode.
Yeah, you started by saying we get to see Tuco's psyche and like psyche or psychosis.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Yeah. Which one is it? Yeah, it's interesting going back and seeing these characters because we know where they end up. We know where the story's going. Now we get to see a little bit of where it started. And yeah, you've got Tuco, who is very caring for the abuelita, and just like he was very caring for his tío. And you're right, Nacho is an interesting character because he is, you said Tuco respects him, but not only that, he listens to him.
Yeah,
Like,
so
no,
that's the power
Tuco
there.
doesn't listen to anybody, but he listens to this guy.
Yeah.
And he like I said in the synopsis, he's a voice of reason
Yep.
to the point that, like, he's the smart one. Like, he's the brains of the Tuco operation. And you wonder, and I'm sure you get many moments like this, like, well, whatever happened to that guy? Because when we meet Tuco in Breaking Bad, he is completely unhinged, and you know, he beats which one, Nodo's to death just for, saying something, even though he says something here and he lets it slide.
I thought that was, Nodo's is the skinnier one, right? And Gonzo's the bigger one. Yeah.
Just remember who you work for. What, you think they're stupid?
Yeah.
Wait, no, so you think I'm stupid?
Yeah. Stop being helpful. That's why I love that line. Stop being helpful. Yeah.
Stop being helpful.
Yeah.
That's all he gets on this one. Yeah. So that's one thing I find interesting is, now where's this going to go, and where does he end up, and how in this whole thing? Because you don't introduce a character that's adjacent to another character like that without, explaining this is where it all ends up. So I want to see what happens there. Let's get into this. Start talking best scene. What is your favorite scene from this one?
Well, I like the desert scene. I think that's a pretty easy one to go to. The whole back and forth with Tuco and Saul there. A fun factoid I saw on the wiki too is that that's the same location where Walt said, say my name or something like that when he first meets that other dealer there. So I think that's kind of the same location. That's kind of a fun little geographical location there. But that's such a fascinating little things. Like, well, we're gonna kill them. No, let's sprain their ankles. Sprain their ankle. We'll give them black eyes. But they already have a black guy. Let's sprain their ankles, and then eventually go. We're gonna kill them. No, we're gonna break their ankles. Look at that one. It's backwards. It's just the whole like talking their way to like what's happening to the twins. I think that's just such a cool.
Rip their skin off.
Yeah.
You want me to take their eye out?
Yeah.
No, it's an expression.
Yeah, seeing their back and forth, and how he's just like a wordsmith. Like Saul's just throwing out all the words, and Tuco might not understand them, but he knows that they called his auntie or his grandmother the biznatch. So not a good look there. So
not only is it not a good look, it's a horrible insult.
It is. It's just a dated
biznatch. What are we doing here?
They need to have a Jesse Plemons on the show, because they even said yo in the house too. It's like, his leg's broken, yo, something like that. Did I say Jesse Plemons? I meant said Jesse Pinkman. Sorry.
Yes, that is what you meant to say.
Yes,
but that's not what you said. So,
well, thanks for not pointing it out.
No problem.
Be blue, but it's the bomb.
Maybe blue, but it's the bomb.
It is.
Yeah, the desert's good. I like that too, especially the negotiation. Once he decides he's going to try and talk his way out of this, and save the lives of the two idiots he's trying to work with, that was pretty cool. Another one that I really liked. I liked the public defendant montage.
Oh yeah,
of him just going from case to case. It's showtime, and then running into Mike every time, trying to get through the coffee. What was the one guy saying? It was petty with the prior.
Yeah,
petty with the prior, and then he gets to deal with a bag of Fritos. Like there's so many great moments in that, and it shows him really showing how he knows how to work a case. So or just work the system, get some money. So I love that. That was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Like they know how to do these montages, which it's just like it's awesome to see them go into it because they always have catchy music. They have just great little moments in there. The guy with no belt on, he's like, "Whoa, this is a loner, okay? This is a loner." But I said a suit, but yeah, I guess this will work or something like that. Just want to kill him. It's like, no, you need to say, "I was completely wrong, Your Honor." Yeah, it's just great. A lot of cool moments. Petty with a prior.
All right, douchebag award.
Petty with a prior.
Oh,
yeah.
That is a great call. That is a great call. I don't even know. Did we get a name on that guy?
I didn't get the name, but yeah, that's the guy though.
Is it the DDA Bill Oakley?
That could be
played by Peter Dyseth. Dyseth. Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah, that's a good call. I like that one. I went with the low hanging fruit and just said Tuco. I mean,
yeah, good call.
Oh my word! He's a child throwing a temper tantrum.
Yes, very true.
The difference is he's a child with a gun, wielding a gun and a pocket knife.
Like a big ass knife, though.
Big. No, that's a knife.
That's a knife.
Yeah. Wow, Tuco in all his glory, and to think this was what, maybe 6 years after he first played the role, and after he was done playing the role, and he's gonna bring it back and do this with it. It's
like
just,
he never lost a beat either. So it was only two,
never
like 4 episodes or 4 or 5 episodes.
Never aged a day either.
Yeah, it's just the same, man.
All right, Stickman.
Is that your guy? Is that your douchebag too? Oh, you said Tuco. Sorry. Stickman. This is a tough one. Because I think there's not a ton of options here.
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah,
it's Jimmy. I mean, I think he gets something out of that interaction at the restaurant.
With, that's true.
What's her name? Her name was Dreamy Woman. That was her bill, played by Jamie Luner, who apparently was in Melrose Place back in the day.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, but like I'm pretty sure when he falls down on the couch after getting home, I'm pretty sure you can see like a smudge of lipstick.
Like, lipstick. Okay, yeah. So that's a good call. I think that's.
I thought I saw, and after a little while, it disappears in the shots. But I'm pretty sure.
Like rips his face a lot too.
Yeah, there's a little bit that you could see on his lips when he first lands, or when he first wakes up. It looks like there's something there. So he got something. He got something. Yeah, even as intoxicated as he may have been, and she may have been. Yeah, because she was down to those daiquiris pretty quick.
Down in the daiquiris. It's a good call. Tongs could be up there. We did a stickman for us. What was it? An antenna. So tongs could very well be it. But I think though he kind of bleeds into my minor character though. I think, or new face, Nacho is a pretty good call. Like there's something with that, like that's just that demeanor. He's probably very confident, and there's more reading into that. We'll probably dig more into that as the character goes on. But that's who I was thinking as like the stickman of the episode. He just comes across completely different and unique from the other people in Tuco's little group. So, yeah, definitely I would say that.
Yeah, that's good. Best new face. Hey, that I still have it as down as hey, that's Danny Trejo. Maybe it just stays the hey, that's Danny Trejo award.
Yeah.
And this would be someone that we've seen before, or maybe seen in something else. Did you find anybody besides Jamie Luner? Apparently.
Yeah. Well, the mom, not the mom, the grandmother,
Abuelita.
Yeah, Abuelita.
That's a good call.
He was in Just Scarface.
That's good. Yeah. Jamie Lunar, what did I say her name was? Dreamy Woman.
Dreamy.
So she was in
Woman.
58 episodes of Melrose Place. She was
That's
in
good.
312 episodes of All My Children.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
She was in 10 episodes of Murder in the First. I remember that show.
Okay.
So pretty distinguished television career for her.
Yeah.
So you've got her. She was in an episode of 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
So she just kind of pops up every now and then in different spots. But we've talked a little bit about Nacho, and I was just looking him up. He is in Spider-Man Homecoming. It says he is Mac Gargan. I think he might be the guy who meets Michael Keaton in prison, right?
Yeah, he's the prison. He was supposed to be the lizard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, not lizard. Scorpion. He's Scorpion. He would be the character Scorpion in the comic. That's right. Yeah, right when you said Homecoming, I was like, I know exactly who that is. Okay.
I thought the same thing. Is like that's got to be who that is. So
yeah,
we've seen him before, even though that came out 2 years after the show started. So
yeah, and that character probably will never be on the big screen again, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, and that there's several things that might never pop up again in the MCU.
You don't say.
Minor character of the episode.
Is it just me or just like I liked Gonzo, Nodos and Gonzo, like seeing those guys back, like, hey, cool, like that's obviously the Better Call, like that's the Breaking Bad shout outs, but seeing those two guys back again, that was pretty cool. But I'll save those two guys for a little bit. I think that the minor character, one of my guys I actually laughed about, was the guy with no belt and his pants just fell down. He's like, whoa, this is a loner. Like that character, like that guy's just down on his luck, just like, I'm here for. What do you think his charge was? Like, is it public, public indecency or public intoxication? What was his charge? You think?
That's a good question. I mean, it could be any combination of all of it, right?
Yeah, because obviously he's not.
But we know he's very sorry and he'll never do it again.
Very sorry. Yeah, super apologetic.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good call.
Character. Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm going with Jeff Poole as Breadstick Guy.
Oh,
because no one needs to snap that many breadsticks. So it makes me wonder, like, did he see that Jimmy was having trouble with this? And he goes, "Oh, that guy watches me every time I break a breadstick." Well, crack. Oh, he's watching me again.
That's a douchebag. Then that's a douchebag move.
And that's a possible douchebag moment, but yeah, just Breadstick Guy. We barely even see his face. We really just see his hands.
He's a hand model.
But why male models?
Yeah.
And he's even got a picture on IMDb, which is interesting.
Just I wonder what his hand and breadsticks.
he looks like he could be like Cranston's body double. If you look up a picture of him, he looks like he could play. He could be his like stuntman, the Walter White stuntman.
Nice.
I don't think he was, but he looks like he could be.
Could be.
Mm-hmm. All right. Best Saul one-liner.
Yo! I got a really bad case of face blindness. That's a good one. I like that one.
That was a good one. The one he didn't have a ton in this one because he had to be too serious most of the time. But the one I wrote down was, "You're like a troll under a bridge."
Yeah. Get more stickers. And then I also like, he's like, "I'm a freaking fantastic lawyer," or something like that too. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I got that really
or when the court clerk, "What do you want? Not to starve to death?"
Yeah, not to starve to death.
Oh, that was good. Okay, best Breaking Bad reference. Let's talk about Gonzo and Nodos.
Gonzo No-Dos, when they show up, it's like they haven't missed a beat. They're just standing in the background, looking kind of ominous, just not doing much of anything. Get shut down, put in their place. It's cool to see those little characters pop up in just enough of the show where you're reminded, hey, this is still the universe that we're living in, but it's not overtaking the actual show, because I feel like this show has different beats to it. It's definitely more. So far, 2 episodes, it definitely feels like a more hyper and comedic, has a comedic tone to it a little bit more than Breaking Bad did have. Because obviously it's Saul, because every time he's on the screen, there's always something kind of funny, a line or whatever he's saying. So it's more high-strung, hyper tense show, I guess. It's not so serious and straightforward like Breaking Bad is a little bit. So it's finding its groove here, but it's also in that same Breaking Bad universe. So it's cool to see those characters back.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that you don't have to worry as much about the world building, because you already know the world.
Yeah.
and you can throw these just random guys into a scene and they mean something. Like, this is episode 2, and a couple guys with 1 or 2 lines in the episode are just hanging out in the background of one scene, and you can see them and go like, oh, hey, those guys.
Mhm.
You don't, like, you never get that in an episode 2 of anything. And so the fact that the world is already built for us really kind of helps things out. I wonder if anyone tried to watch this before Breaking Bad and tried to go like in chronological order, start with Better Call Saul and then get to Breaking Bad. I wonder how that would change the viewing experience of both of them.
I know that you have to. There is some timeline order of how to do it. Like, and seeing that, of course, you watch this now. Your phone picks up on what your activities. So
right.
It's like here's the proper order of how to watch Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I saw something like that. I completely ignored it because I didn't want to.
Yeah, just keep scrolling up because it's just don't want to spoil what the show actually is or whatever yet. But
yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if there's anything coming up that hardcore references things that happen in Breaking Bad. That'd be a good point. That'd be interesting. But yeah, Gonzo No-Dos, especially the way that their demise comes about.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really see them much until they're meeting in the junkyard, and you get those infamous lines.
Tight, yeah.
He says that standing right next to Gonzo and No-Dos, and No-Dos can never keep his mouth shut. Stop helping. And then you got Gonzo, who just is smarter. It's like, don't talk. It's not gonna help.
I'm not saying nothing. I don't see nothing. Nope.
Mm-hmm. And they both end up dead in the junkyard anyways. So
on top of each other, I think too. I think one of them tries to pick one up, and it gets kind of like something. Yeah,
getting a selfie taken.
Yeah,
with a flip phone.
Yep.
Yeah. So those guys are as good as it gets in this episode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
just enough.
Other than having the Say My Name location used again, I don't think there's any other new references that we got in this one.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything new. I like the little bit of reference we got, but just it hasn't outgrown its welcome. I think it's just enough, which is perfect.
All right. Any problems or outdated things you want to mention?
If you really want to set your show apart, you bring you set it in a certain time period without flashing a date on it. You bring back certain things that are clearly of that time era. Beanie Babies, clearly a point from the late 90s to early 2000s. That was a very prominent toy around that time. So having a Beanie Baby get brought into the show, you kind of know, hey, this is before Breaking Bad, which takes place in 2008, 2009-ish. So having that there, it's a good point of reference without clearly beating over the head or putting the date on the screen, which is cool. It's a subtle way to tell it. But that's the only thing that's kind of quote unquote outdated, but it's right. It's played well though.
01 is almost past Beanie Baby
It's
prime.
probably too late. That is true. I always want to think it's longer, but it is pretty much a good point. And from the late 90s, like the last 3 years, maybe 97 to 99, maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
Beanie Babies are to Jimmy as Cake Pops are to the idiot magical lawyer. I think is where we're getting at. Yeah, Beanie Babies were my MVP.
Yeah.
Because they worked. Like
Mhm.
Jimmy knows what it takes,
Yeah.
and he does what needs to happen. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything written down for that, so let's skip over to midlife crisis moment.
Not owning a belt, I think it's pretty much a crisis. His pants almost fell down, man. Or he's just completely starving himself and he's lost a lot of weight. Or he's borrowing somebody else's pants. That could be another thing too. So I think, yeah, not owning a belt is it's probably a midlife crisis there.
That's good. I have two. First one is like sense memory PTSD. Like you have those things where you're like, that sound reminds me of this, or that smell reminds me of this, and you just have those things. So that's one thing. The other one I wrote down was hating yourself for having a conscience.
Mm.
In that moment where Jimmy's off free and those two are about to get killed.
Yep.
He's like, you could tell the look on his face. He's like, oh, crap. I can't just let that happen. I have to open my big mouth and try and stop it. Even though he knows it might be, it might lead to his demise. He has to. And you could tell he hates himself in that moment for having a conscience. And we all have those moments like, crap, why do I feel like I need to be a good person?
How about doing this to myself?
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty good one.
Good call.
LVP.
The twins are so annoying. They're just like rip off like Jesse Pinkwins. Like they are clearly just trying to be that kind of like that lane of the show so far. Just the way they speak. I didn't catch on it too much in the first episode, but clearly in this episode, when they said yo, I was like, really? Need another one of these guys to say this? And then just kind of go on. He's like, oh, you're a freaking worst, the horrible lawyer. I don't think we see. I would be okay if that was the last time we really saw those guys. I don't think really why does he need to bring them back, He dropped them off the hospital, he paid for their bill. That bill ain't gonna be cheap. 2 broken legs. 2 different people. And that's a quick bill too. You get the bill in one day. Oh, that's a flaw. That doesn't happen now.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe a clinic like that you could probably get it.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe you do. It's like maybe you could quickly, but if it's like a big bill, you're not going to get that in one day. I don't think. But who knows?
True.
Maybe it wasn't even a hospital they got dropped off at. Who knows? What happened to his go ahead.
I could see the twins. I could see this being the last time we see them. I could also see them basically turning into the Better Call Saul version of Skinny and Badger.
Okay. I was about to say, don't be the other set of twins on the show. That'd be kind of weird.
No. Just the random guys that if Jimmy needs a couple guys for something, he goes and finds the skateboarders. I could see that. I could see that being how this plays out. My LVP is space blankets.
Yeah, that was my second choice. Yeah, what was space blanket?
Why are you wearing a space blanket?
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a space blanket?
Yeah.
Take it off. Take the space blanket off. Yeah. And figuring out what's going on with Chuck, I think this really is like, okay, he is like paranoid hermit refusing to have anything inside that house, and the poor guy.
Something's definitely going on with that guy where he's grabbing things and throwing them out the window, out the door with tongs and space blanket, and just very paranoid for sure. One of the more interesting characters, but I just hope the payoff or whatever's going on with him it's worth the intrigue, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he had to throw it out, and then gave him crap for not discharging or grounding himself as he walked in. And so he had to like dig through his pockets with a pair of tongs to find his. I don't know. He's got some stuff going on.
Mhm.
All right, MVP. I said Beanie Babies because I mean they make things happen.
This is good. Good, very good. I had two here. I had those food vending machines and coffee vending machine. I guess.
Oh yeah.
And definitely in a time on the go, you have to have your quick eats. But I would say Mike Ehrmantraut for being a model employee, definitely an employee of the month material. You know, he's not going to let, even though I've seen you every day. No, you need your stickers. Get pulled over. He's a no BS type of guy. I'm going to interested to see how they actually like. Is this the only time I want to see how they start working together. That's going to be a fascinating thing once he leaves the booth. That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a fun moment to see the moment where did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Yep.
Got so much more
That'll be
space outside this booth to do activities.
So many activities.
Yeah.
Did you touch my drum set? Saul's got a drum set. He has to, right? At some point, Saul / Jimmy owned
has a drum
Jimmy
set.
has a drum set.
Slippin' Jimmy that's probably his band.
Mhm.
We're Slippy Jimmy in the gang.
Slippin' Jimmy's. I like it. All right. Well, what's coming up next?
Obviously, we're gonna have a heist of some kind. I think that's gonna be interesting. I'm planning this, and they're not doing it with Tuco, correct? It's just gonna be Saw and Nacho, from my understanding,
Maybe.
right? Maybe.
I
It could be
mean,
somebody else. Maybe
Tuco. I could see Nacho looking at Tuco and just saying he's gonna mess this up.
That's a good point. I think that's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to see what they do with the ketamines, whatever. It's good. It's good. That's gonna be kind of interesting story, especially when they are to kind of anything that seems heisty. It's kind of right up my alley. So it'd be kind of fun to see them throw a heist in the very third episode of the show. In the way that Saw does a heist, it's not going to be like we're going to use magnets, bitch. It's going to be talking your way out of it, bitch. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
talking your way into it.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Talking your way in and getting something out of it. Yeah.
Or how long it takes us to get there too. I think that'll be interesting to see as well. Is it going to happen? Is it going to be next episode? Is it going to take a couple more weeks before Nacho to pop back up? Could what's Tuco's reaction going to be if he finds out that Nacho did a job without him?
Yeah, it's not a bad
Who's
idea.
the boss here? Is Tuco the boss? Is Nacho the boss? That's another question that I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd guess Tuco because he is a Salamanca, and that would be the one that like rises above it all. I was kind of bummed you didn't see Jimmy at any point say put $1 in my pocket. Now you're my lawyer. Now you can tell me anything, and I can't say it. Like that. That's what he needed. Maybe he's just not to that point yet as a lawyer to be. He's not a criminal lawyer yet.
He's a public defender.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's starting to get there though. Slippin' Jimmy might become a criminal lawyer. So
yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun journey. I'm looking forward to it already. It's going to be an interesting ride. I like where the show's at. I feel like it's even though 2 episodes in, it's definitely has set itself apart, but also still grounded in this world that is Breaking Bad. So
I'm curious how often we get the flash forwards. How often do we get black and white? We had a couple scenes of it in the first episode. We had nothing in this one.
Yeah.
So how often do we get those black and white moments? That I'm going to be curious to see if this truly is parallel timelines or if we just get those little snippets of here's what he's doing and here's what he looks like
until we get
relate and then go back and talk more about what's going on with Jimmy. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I am curious to see where he's at now and what's going on at Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
For sure.
But those questions will be asked on a different episode, unfortunately. But we will be back at you next week with another episode of our favorite lawyer. So who are we going to call, Terry?
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, better call him. All right, my name's Adam. That's Terry, and we'll see you on the next one.
Not enough stickers.
Get your stickers right, man. Let's go. Get those stickers.